Hello everyone, welcome back to the bench. Today we have an Icom IC-F110. This is exactly the same as an F121. This is just a lower wattage. It's the international version that wasn't sold in North America, but pretty much the same radio. This one apparently has a flashing display and makes some weird noises. I wrote bad regulators, maybe. Let's find out. So according to ICOM, when the display flashes like this, it means that the VCO is not locking in on a frequency. And in my experience, I've had it where loss of one of the voltage lines, like the 8 volt or the 5 volt, has gone, but the CPU 5 volt is still there, and that's enough to get it going. So let's take this thing apart here and see what we can do. All right. Now, something to mention that it's always good to put dummy load on. Even though there's no mic in here, you never know what's going to happen. This thing's pretty crusty, dirty looking inside. Hard to tell if it's ever been worked on before. But one of the culprits we want to look at is this guy right here. I believe that's 8 volt reg. And this one next to it is the 13 volt switch that powers everything on. So oh, that's annoying. So we have a flashing display still. Let's check out what kind of voltages we're getting here. Let's see if I can get a better lighting situation here. Less glare, better focus. Okay, so we're obviously getting our 13.98, and here it's 13 because it's on. Here we should get 13.98, and the output should be 8 volts, and it's not. And then the one next to it, oh, 8 volts. Okay, we are getting our 8 volts. Okay, so my next step will be the 5 volt regulators. There's multiple. Clearly the CPU 5 is working because I can control the CPU. I can go channel up and down. The display is working. I believe there's 5 volts supposed to be on this pin. Ooh, she's low. That could be why. Might not like how low it is. This 8 volts kind of, this should be 13. Yeah, this 5 volts a little low. So let me just take a quick look at the schematic and refresh my memory here of where else we need 5 volts. So I believe when this thing attempts to transmit, it makes all kinds of funny, weird noises. Audio, I'm not even keying up. I was not even pressing the button and it's talking through itself. What if I transmit? That is weird. Okay. Okay, we got an interesting one today. This thing is just covered in schmoo. So first things first, let's get the head unit off and see what's going on with that. Be my electrical tape holding it on. Now, ribbon cable looks good. These things tend to go bad. This thing is real disgusting, filthy. I'm just wondering if it's possible any liquid damage or anything spilt into it. But other than it being really dirty, dusty, doesn't look like anything's going on. Let's try just plugging this cable back in, flexing it around, see if that makes any difference. All right, so if you see here, we have our 13. Well, let me change this. We have our 13.8 volts coming in, and it's obviously going to our power switch, and it's turning those on. It's obviously turning on the CPU, which is this 5 volts. Oh, 5 volts regulators going here, and it's clearly turning the CPU on. Now, I am getting a 8 volt signal, so that must be on. But now, my 8 volts is a little low. It's nothing, it's not too low, but it's down there a bit. Now, I don't know if I'm getting this 5 volt signal here. CPU 5 we have, but are we getting this 5 volt? I don't know. And I don't know if we're getting that. That's supposed to be a question mark. And I don't know if we're getting, so that's transmit 8 volts and that's receive 8 volts. Strange things are happening. So I think the next step here is to check these 3 regulators and what's going on. I believe they are all going to be probably on the underside of the board. Luckily, we have some board views here. IC9, we've already looked at that. That's our 8 volt. That's a little bit low. So I think we're looking for Q27, 28, which I believe is on the underside here. It's Q25, so that must be our transmit 8. Q29, that's part of the transmit 8 circuit. Q26 and 30 is part of our R8 receive. So it's just, they're just regulators from off of the 8 volt basically. And it's switching between the two using transistors. So we're looking for the Q2728. It's down here. There we go. And that would be our 5-volt regulators, which gives 5 volts kind of everywhere else. So that is the next step. We're going to have to remove the board and kind of jerry rig it up so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to completely dismantle the main board out of this unit. Now, this is not necessary to do the testing that I want to do for all these different voltage lines. There are test points, and I could look at the schematic or board view and find different points where these voltages come out. But these are pretty easy to dismantle, and the main reason I want to dismantle it is because this thing is pretty filthy. You can see all this dust in the back, and thermal grease should be redone on the final transistor. So it's just kind of an excuse to get me to do that as well, because it's an old radio, and it's about 20 years old, and it could use it. But like I said, there's no real reason to do it. There are easier ways if you're just trying to do a quick fix. So hook this back up. Won't hook the speaker up because it's annoying. But we'll get in here. Let's check our voltages. So all right, so Q27 and 28. We've got 7 volts, 7.1 on our 8-volt line coming in. We got 5.1 coming out of Q27. And then Q28 on the output. .56. Okay, so that 5-volt line, I guess, is all right. Let's go up to T8, which is 2529. So that's this big guy here. We got VCC to it, which is great. And then nothing else, which is kind of what I want to see. Q29 is that one there. Yeah, I don't want to see 8 volts right now. We should be, we got 5 volts at Q29. So now when we go down to, over to R8, which is Q26, we're getting 7.8 volts at Q26. 7 volts. 7.7. So that seems right, like, because we're in receive mode. That's how it should be. And that's enabling it to go through. to, where are you? Q30, which is the lower one. All right, just because I can. It's kind of cheating, but I have another known working faceplate or head unit here. I just want to try and see if it does the same thing, then I can kind of eliminate that. Ah, interesting. Okay, okay. Well, that changes things. Now, one thing I did not check was the ribbon cable. So this is the ribbon cable from the good faceplate. I'll put this over there. Could it be something that simple? These do go bad pretty easily. Oh, no, we're still flashing, so it's not the ribbon cable. But it's good to know that we know it's something in the face plate and unit. So let's get that apart now. Dig a little deeper. Kind of as I was expecting, it could be liquid damage. There's also, I believe there's another regulator in here. Maybe I'll have to look at the diagram again. Let's get this thing apart. It is disgusting in here. So it helps to have spare parts around for testing like that, although that was kind of cheating. However, I was willing to assume everything was on the main unit, all the problems. So. That is very filthy. There's nothing really on this side of the board. I'll give it a good clean out though. So I think our first step, as you can see, it's dried up now, but the way that that's kind of infiltrated in here almost looks like it did get wet. Something was spilt on it, something leaked in here, and I can see it inside the mic connector. That little tuning potentiometer there has something in it. But back here, it looks pretty clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrub this thing down with alcohol and clean it up and then put it back together with the LCD. I'm going to clean all this up too because it's filthy. And I'll put it back together because I need the LCD on to kind of troubleshoot it. Well, it's still flashing after doing a cleanup, so obviously we're going to have to look at some parts now. I don't know what spilt on this thing because I cannot get that off even with alcohol. The rest of it cleaned up really nice. Okay, let's start by looking around here. Well, after doing a bunch of circuit tracing, I've realized that the only thing I cannot find is the SCK, which should go where this black mark is here. And it should go to the other side of this resistor bank here, and then into the CPU, and I'm not getting continuity from here to here. Everything else on this connector gets continuity. So I'm thinking it could be these vias somewhere got some corrosion. The CPU did have a lot of gunk in this area. So let's try bodging that. Hopefully that solves our problem and there aren't any other issues or broken traces or anything like that. So that would be this SCK, which is one of these pins. It's supposed to come to R56, this via here, and it is not. So we're going to do a little bodge from this via over to the via on at the connector here. So it's going to take a bit of microscope work. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's this one here. Let's try to rough it up a bit. There's a little bit of conformal coating on here, but not much. Okay. And then over here, we're looking for is pin 28, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. Just using my tweezers for this. A fiberglass pen would be best. I'm not really sure where mine is right now. let's see if that solves our problem. It's not flashing. We might be onto something. Okay. Okay. Well, let's put the main unit back together because we know the main unit's good. And then I will plug this in again and just make sure that it actually transmits, receives. There aren't any other problems. Then I will clean up my messy flux and we'll glue this wire down and put some new conformal coating on to seal this thing up. Make sure it doesn't do any more corroding. But I don't want to do that until I know we fix the problem. So let's get this back together. I gave this thing a good scrubbing, put new grease on here. So looks really good. Okay. Okay, we are transmitting. 15 watts. We'll have to play with that a little bit. Could be my connector here. I gotta work on that. Oh, okay. Well, let's try the signal generator. Ooh, that's negative 121 decibels. That is pretty good, breaking the squelch that low. Alright, I got a bunch of coating on here. It's kind of hard to see, but I went a little crazy to glue that down and to cover a few of the spots I chipped away at. Yeah, I put quite a bit on. So it smells really good in here. And that should be enough to keep this thing protected for many years to come. One more test. Blah, blah, blah. Audio 1, 2, 3. Well, there's another one saved. These I sell to a lot of off-road hunters, off-road guys, or truckers, and they do pretty well. So they're pretty desirable for VHF radios. So yeah, I'll give this a good weekly test in my vehicle before I sell it, just to make sure everything's a-okay. But I'm gonna call that a win right there. So thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next one.